Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. And we've got a really interesting guest today. But before I bring her on, let me give you some information. She's a medium, you guys, so she's going to have really cool stuff to tell us. Her name is Sheri Jewel, and she's a certified medium, and she's been practicing for many years. She studied and refined her skills extensively with the direction of James Van Praagh, John Holland, Janet Nohavec, and other well-versed leaders in the industry. Through contact with the spirit world and the Archangels, Sheri delivers in-depth and valuable messages to her clients. Sheri's been a keynote speaker, demonstrating mediumship at the Lightworkers Conference and at the All Souls Conference. Now, Sheri's a regular participates in mediumship events and demonstrations, all of which leave her audience with healing for years to come. Sheri says her sole purpose and passion is bringing healing messages from your loved ones in the spirit world, and she captures her clients with proof that the afterlife is real and that our loved ones are always near us. That's comforting. She shows that life is eternal and never ends. Sheri Jewel, welcome to High Road to Humanity.
Thank you, Nancy. Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody.
I'm excited you're here today. Well, first off, I want to hear your story. I mean, how long have you been a medium? How long have you known that you've been a medium? Tell us your story. When did this start for you, Sheri?
It's, I would say approximately like 10 years ago. God, I had the classic spiritual awakening where everything is removed from your life, one disaster after another.
Yeah.
Like I had a child that was sick for like a year. He missed like school for a year. My dad got paralyzed and was put in a nursing home. I had other things going on. And, as a problem happens to you, you start dealing with it, right?
Right.
And then I would get slammed down again. I'm like, I can't catch a break here, right?
Right.
So I did fall into like a depression and got anxiety and stuff. I had never had depression. I never went to a doctor or a psychiatrist or anything like that. I'm not saying you shouldn't,
Right.
but for me, I just really decided just to feel the pain. And I had kids, so I wasn't that depressed. I wasn't like laying in bed, but I wasn't feeling really happy.
Right. Right.
And then all of a sudden, I started having like prophetic dreams.
Okay.
I always liked psychics. I was always into it. I didn't think I could do it. I mean,
Right.
I was always drawn to it. So then I started getting these like teachings and messages in my sleep, and I was knocked into like meditations and trances, and I was not a meditator. Okay. I mean,
I was going to ask you that if you meditated, but you didn't.
No, but it was weird, is I would just like trance out all of a sudden.
Right.
And, life went from very normal suburban mother to like, a supernatural ride. I mean, and I would
what were the messages? Like, what were you receiving? What were the messages? Who were they?
Well, what first started is I would have these dreams, like the lucid dreams that were really vivid.
Right.
And I mean, I was like definitely interacting in them, and yes, their color. And I would be shown people.
Okay.
And particularly this one woman was in my dream, and we were in a bar. I don't know why we were in a bar. And I don't know this lady, and she's in my dream, and she goes, you're a medium, hands me a business card and says, call me. I woke up and I'm like, what? And I do swear, I apologize, but I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, when stuff starts happening to you, you're kind of like, wait, is this real? Is this not? And then that story was interesting because I would say about 2 weeks later, or within a couple of weeks for sure, a random lady on Facebook who was a psychic medium into Archangels and all that, which I didn't know I was into Archangels then either.
Right.
And she's like, oh, the angels want me, you to meet this one lady. And I'm like, and I'm talking to this woman on the phone. I let her call me. I don't know why. And I'm like, she said, the girl is a medium. And she goes, she's having a gallery demonstration today. You must go so you meet her. Okay. And I'm like looking outside. I got the dogs out. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to my boat. She's like, no, you have to go today. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'll call her tomorrow. I'm going to my boat right now. I'm walking out of the door. Honest to God, it starts raining. And I'm like, okay, where's this place at? It's raining. I'm not going to my boat.
Oh my gosh.
And what's interesting is I was like, how am I going to get in? I don't have a ticket. And so I just walked up to the door. The person checking the tickets was like, where's your tickets? And I just said, I don't need one. And I said, I'm supposed to be here. And she's like, okay, come in. She let me in. And when the medium came out, it was the girl that was in my dream.
Oh, wow. That's really weird.
So I started having that a lot with, that's how I met quite a few people. So even like Teresa Caputo was in my dream, and then I met her the next morning.
How weird.
So it was weird. I really became like very guided.
Yeah.
Um, how this happened to me, I can't even tell you, but I guess it was time to wake up and do
Right.
this work.
Right.
Yeah. And then angels came. I mean, it just got really supernatural really quick.
That's really interesting that this happened. So you weren't afraid. You knew, you felt comfortable with these dreams, and you felt comfortable
No, I
when
gotta
you.
say, when this stuff started happening, I wasn't depressed anymore. I'm like, this is fun. I mean, I was
Right.
so like, I'd been hugged by angels. These dead people came out of nowhere. And no, I wasn't scared. It felt comfortable to me, and I thought it was fun.
Right. Right.
I mean,
Yeah. No, I think it's wonderful. So you talk about the angels and you talk about Archangel Michael. Now, can you see the angels?
no, I don't see them. But what happened was one day this is before I knew I was gifted. Archangels, to me, honest to God, I was born Catholic, but I didn't know anything about the Bible. Angels were a statue to me. I didn't think they'd really be real.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, before my gifts up, and I'm talking to a psychic on the phone, and she goes, Archangel Michael's with you. In my head, I'm thinking, lady, you're crazy. Okay. Right? I mean,
I
right
love
before
it.
you wake up, like you don't believe any of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I felt like a presence stand behind me, and the feathers, I felt like, being wrapped up in feathers, and every
Oh,
feather like closed on me like that from my whole up from head to toe. And
wow.
then I felt this it just felt like probably like a baby blanket around you, right?
Yeah.
And then I felt this unconditional love and peace just radiate through my whole body. And then I just like felt this divine love piercing my heart. And then I started freaking out. I'm like, oh my God. The lady's like, what? I'm still on the phone. I'm like,
Right.
I just got hugged by an angel. She's like, girl, I told you. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, they're real.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, do
Yeah.
you call on the angels today for if you have something going on? Because I always call on the angels. I do that. I'll say, hey, I need your help. And they're always there when you ask.
Yeah. I mean, every time I do a reading, I always put them around me.
Right.
Like my ear hums when the spirit comes. So even before this interview, about 10 minutes ago, I'm like, hey guys, are you here? And then my ear hummed.
Oh, I
So
love it. I love it.
yeah, so
That's your
they,
signal.
and people think like, oh, I'm not special. I'm a normal person. And people think that, you have to be like so special to get an angel. No, they're available to all of us. Just
Right.
invite them in. Right.
Right. And that's what I always say. You have to ask. And I think that's the biggest thing. We don't ask. Don't you agree?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go looking for it. I don't know why it happened to me, but
Have you
I got
ever asked why, do you ever say, oh, why am I chosen? Why am I chosen? Or you just go with it?
They actually showed me, it was interesting. So at the very beginning too, when I told you I got knocked into trances,
Right.
um, the archangels would take over my hands and like type messages to people.
Okay.
And I'm trying not to hit enter. And I'm like, come on. And they win every time, right?
Yeah.
And then I started I would just know to write. So, and I would start automatic writing. So automatic writing and typing is a really big, easy thing for me.
Hmm.
And they showed me many past lives I had.
Right.
And they were all the metaphysical ones. Like they told me I was a Hindu prophet in the
Okay.
1800s, and I got captured and killed, and I wasn't going to be shut up this time. That's exactly how they told me.
Nice.
They showed me being a pagan, a druid, and I didn't know any of these words. So
Right.
they showed me how to think a lot of metaphysical lifetimes. So I think that my soul just decided I
Right.
was
It
going to
was
be
time.
normal for half my life, raise the kids, and get the kids off to college, and now it's work time.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we were in Scotland together. I'm a Scottish girl, and I know I've got some Celtic background. Maybe we were there together.
Maybe what's no, because that's not funny. All the people I meet
Isn't it
are
funny?
soul connections, and there's always a
Yeah.
connection to Archangel Michael.
Yes, and that's the same with me too. He's always been very close to me and near and dear to my heart. And
So
I've
he's
had some
probably
odd
behind
things
it.
happen. Yeah, I've had some odd things happen, with him or about him, which is kind of crazy. Hey, when we come back, I want from the break, I want you to give us some more information and tell us more about what you've learned, and especially with all this COVID stuff going on. Hey, you guys, this is Nancy Yearout. I'm here today with Sheri Jewel. She's joining us from Chicago, and we'll be right back. Hi, it's Nancy Yearout, and this is High Road to Humanity. I'm here today with a really spectacular medium. We are talking to Sheri Jewel. Sheri, thanks for joining us today. Have you had any messages since this whole COVID thing started? I got the feeling that I think it's a good thing that people are staying home. I know that sounds weird, but it's given us some time to realize what's important. That's kind of what I've been picking up from this. I wonder what you've been picking up from this whole deal.
Yeah, as I was talking about the automatic typing on Facebook, one day I was like typing a message,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden I channeled through that there will be chaos, but this is going to create a whole new infrastructure. What that exactly means, I can't tell you, but it looks like it's a whole new world, right?
Right.
They're telling me right now to say, yeah, this is a timeout. It's a reset.
Right.
And I do believe, I don't get into all the conspiracy theories and all this stuff. It's just, I can't even listen to this stuff anymore.
What do you think about like the light and the dark, the battle? Because I feel there's a battle between good and evil right now. I think instead of getting into all that, do you feel like I feel like there is good and evil, and of course good and the light will always prevail. What do you feel?
I've really seriously have never had a bad experience. So I've been very lucky to be one of those people. I feel very protected. So it's interesting though, a client of mine was at a gallery demonstration I did about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
She texts me this photograph of a picture she took of what I told her that day.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I came to her and I said, Star Wars, light and dark, and the light wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and she had it dated and everything. And she's like, and look what's happening now. I'm like, okay, good. The light wins.
That's true.
It was interesting that she sent me that right after this COVID thing started.
Right.
So, I mean, I do think we're going to be okay. And I think that we just have to be careful of you have to use caution.
Right.
But I am a little leery of more of the media keeping this going on longer.
Right, than it should be. And I think that's where I talk about the dark coming in, because I feel like people want to be free, and this will really, a lot of times we take our freedom for granted, and maybe this will make people realize how important it is to be free.
Well, and the relationships, and appreciating and being grateful for everything in life.
Right.
I do have immune problems, so I don't. Spirit actually told me directly to wear a mask, wear a hat, wash my hands, and limit my exposure. That's for me though, because I do have autoimmune issues.
Right.
But yesterday, or over the weekend, I went to the boat, and I was like so happy to be driving on a highway for half an hour. I'm like, oh, this is fun.
Right.
I mean, the simple things become so much more meaningful, right?
Right. We start to appreciate. Well, I was telling on the last show that the girl who did my hair, it was like she was so excited to be back at work. And I think people want to get back to work. And when they do finally get back to work, they're going to be happy to be doing their thing again, no matter what it is. You know what I mean, Sheri?
Well, yeah. And I think everyone's finding a little more gratitude. They're going to have a lot more gratitude for family, friends,
right,
life in general, daily, their job, anything, right?
Right.
But there is what scares me more is too, like, people are falling to addictions or suicide,
right,
depressions, and that needs to be addressed, I think, like now.
Right. No, I agree.
Because not everybody like thinks like we do, where we're just like chilling in our house. Oh, we can meditate. We can just like, chill out. Not everybody, unfortunately, is that relaxed about it. So I just hope that, people or the governments or cities or whatever really work on the mental health issues for people. I mean,
right. Well, that's why I'm glad you're here today, because people need to know, especially with the churches not being in session. I'm not really into organized religion. I grew up in the Church of Christ, but people need their souls fulfilled more than anything. And that's why it's really awesome that you're here today. Do you have any cool stories to tell us about some of your divine guidance or some of the angels, or just something that would be uplifting to make people, I think people just need to have faith and believe. And it's hard to have faith and believe. I believe, but I've had experiences happen to me, and that's what's kind of done it for me. And I know you have too.
Yeah. I think that what I've noticed, even like, because I do psychic readings, they're not always just mediumship.
Right.
I do notice that spirit's coming through in every reading, even the psychic ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think people really need to know that their loved ones in spirit, I mean, they're with us right now. I mean, I can feel them like stand on me, like they blend with me. And spirit is all over everybody right now. So people really need to know that, some people are alone right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trust that you're not alone, that,
that you're never alone, right?
Yes, your dead people are there, the
Your
angels are
angels.
there. I mean, I've had Jesus come to me. That was a funny story, actually. In
Well,
my
tell
dream.
me. I want to hear. I want to hear.
This one was goofy because I yelled at him because I didn't believe it.
I love it.
But I mean, you don't know what you're doing when you're sleeping. I can't help if I was fighting in my sleep.
Right.
So I was asleep, and like I said, I've never had a scary experience doing this work ever.
Right. Me either. But I always like to talk about the light and the dark because there is evil out there and we're the light. And I just want people to know that light prevails. I think that's my biggest thing, Sheri.
Yeah, and some people they use the word evil, and maybe it's just I like the word negativity more.
Okay.
Right. I don't know. It's that's not my path, thank God. I don't have to, but it is affecting us on a daily basis, yes.
It is, yeah.
But so yeah, I was asleep, and this was probably the only thing I thought was scary that happened. I felt like I was pinned down in bed. Like I'm oh my God, a ghost has me,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like in my sleep, I'm thinking I'm like thrashing and turning and stuff like that. And I'm fighting, and I'm like, God, help me, Archangel Michael, help me. All of a sudden I hear this really low man's voice. And he goes, it's Jesus. I'm healing your lungs. Like I am a little feisty. So I'm like, how do I know you're Jesus? Now remember, this isn't my sleep, and I'm screaming.
Yeah.
And I saw this guy that was standing next to him, and it must be like one of my guides or something. It was that guy dressed in like that Roman outfit with the skirt, the leather outfit with the little ruffles on the bottom.
Yeah.
He is bent over in half laughing. And now I'm mad. And I'm like, and who are you? And I'm like, what are you laughing about?
Oh my God.
And then he told me who he was. Okay. And then I saw like a 1 or 2 year old, like little baby in pajamas. And I'm like, okay, now the dream is getting like trippy. I'm thinking it's just a random dream, right? And the little boy had a toy, and I did lose a baby that was a boy.
Okay.
So Archangel Michael, I didn't know what kind of baby I had. Archangel Michael one time came and put the baby on my heart. I mean, so that's how I know for sure.
Okay.
So anyway, so this little boy, he looked like my kid, so I'm assuming it was my baby. They took his like toy away from him. So now I'm really mad in my dream. I'm like, since when does Jesus steal toys?
Sheri.
I mean, right? So, I mean, this is like, it's humorous, right? I mean, so then he steals my couch. Okay, now this story sounds batshit crazy, I know, but it makes sense at the end, trust me. And I'm like, really? Now you're stealing couches? I'm like, this dream is not real. Well, then all of a sudden, Jesus' voice goes, you have to give to receive.
Oh, wow.
So I had to give, supposed to be the couch, and I was receiving a healing on my lungs. I have asthma.
Oh, that was your exchange. That was your exchange. Okay.
Yeah. And then, it was just, that's how I've learned a lot. I get these messages in my sleep. Right. But what's really cool about that, so then I woke up and I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. I didn't really think it was you.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
But what's interesting, 2 days later, I was in Walgreens, and there was a young girl in front of me paying with a debit card. And she was just buying like one of those big iced teas or whatever. Mm-hmm. And her it was 99 cents. Now we know 9 is a divine number, right? So in my ear, and normally like I get a lot of stuff telepathically, right?
Right.
This was like true clairaudience where it's like in your ear. Jesus' voice again, because it was that low voice.
Oh my God.
It's like that authoritative voice, like you do it, Yeah. And he goes, pay for her. So here, like you have to give to receive. So this is like the lesson from that dream. Oh, so I paid for her. Okay. Interesting. The next day or two, I went back to Walgreens. Another lady was there. Now she looked like she had money. Okay. No issue. Okay. Her bill was 99 cents again. So in my head, I'm like, is this a test or something? I'm like, I know I'm paying for it. So what's cool about her is I offered to pay for her, but she got it. She goes, oh, thank you very much. I'll pay it forward.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So that's how I've learned from like my own soul, my own, divine team, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. I've learned more from experiences and the message I get.
From things that happen to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I trust that. I trust that 100% when I get that information.
That's awesome. I think my first contact with Jesus was when I was meditating, and I really was going through a hard time, and he was there. And it is hard to believe. You think to yourself, well, no, he's not really there. But yeah.
I mean, I'm not religious. I was never religious. And
right.
Now what's weird is I like watch like a movie about Jesus and I'm crying. I'm like, what's happened?
Right.
I mean, once you have an experience with the divine, whether that's an angel, Jesus, Mother Mary, whatever you're into, there's no going back to being normal.
I agree.
I mean, and I think that's why when you asked, was I scared? I'm like, no, because it felt so right.
Right.
And it's really a comforting feeling to know that you are guided, you
Well,
know?
you're not alone. That's the whole thing. None of us are alone. And I think especially during this time, we all have angels around us and all we have to do is ask. And I think that's the biggest thing that I always try to tell people, pray and do
Yes.
affirmations, whatever feels comfortable, but ask, because a lot of times they're all here, but we don't ask. And I don't think they can help us unless we ask. And so because we have free will,
Yeah.
and so I think, I don't know, that's what I've learned over time. Now, doing your readings, that's been fulfilling, I'm sure, to help people, because it's helpful when people get to talk to their loved ones that have passed. Yes?
Oh yeah. People like think mediumship maybe is, some people think it might be for entertainment, fun. Oh, is the afterlife real? It really is a healing modality. Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
and for some reason I get a lot of, you actually know Joe McQuillan, who wrote My Search
I
for Crystal.
do. I do know Joe.
Well, I met Joe as a client. Now he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Um, when for some reason, I don't know if it's from Christopher or what, I get a lot of dead kids, like
Oh, do
teenagers.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the suicides, the addictions, overdoses, whatever.
Right.
Um, I am very young at heart and I have teenagers, so maybe that's why, I don't know. But
They can connect with you. Yeah.
yeah, and I'll say what they want to say. I don't filter. So if I've had some interesting
I bet.
things come through.
That's awesome.
And
That's so
I'm
fun.
like, are the kids saying this? And she's like, yeah, he would always say that. I mean, so to me, like a medium has to bring the personality of the spirit through.
Right.
And I get kind of like more physical, like if their leg is cut off, I start limping. So
Okay.
they use my body too. But I think that when you see, especially someone that lost a child, when you see them get a message from their child in spirit, and they just open the floodgates and start crying, like, you touch their heart.
Right.
This isn't just a mental thing. It's touching a person's heart and the healing they get. And then they know their child is around, or it doesn't have to be, it could be a mother, father, whatever.
Right.
But mediumship, if you really get the information correct, really is a tremendous healer for grief.
I agree. Hey, listen, we're getting ready to go to commercial. This goes quick, Sheri. But this is Nancy Year Out. We're here today with Sheri Jewel. She's a medium. Sheri, her website, let me give you her website. It's Sheri, Sheri, themedium.com. So people can contact you for readings, correct?
Yeah, just email me or
What's your email, Sheri?
I gotta think about that. SheriJewelMedium@yahoo.com.
All
Or
right.
or I'm on Facebook. They can find me on Facebook or
All right, you guys, you can find her. All right, this is Nancy Year Out. We'll be right back. Hi, it's Nancy Year Out. We're here today with Sheri Jewel. Listen, she's a medium, and if you guys want to contact her, her website is www.sherithemedium.com, or you can email her at, Sheri, what is it?
SheriJewelMedium@yahoo.com.
Okay. And I do readings too. So if you ever want to talk to me, go to my website, nancyyearout.com, or email me at nancyyearout@gmail.com. Well, I don't see, I'll tell you what, I can't say that because I do see people. I saw my dad when he was leaving. I didn't get to say goodbye to him, and I actually got to see him before he went. And that was interesting. I think that was the biggest confirmation for me. I've believed and I have faith and I've known for a long time, and I've had lots of messages like you too. But when you actually see it, I don't know why that visualization thing really was big for me, but it was like confirmation, like that's really cool.
There was only one time. I personally don't want to see dead people because I feel them. Like I'm
Right.
I feel them sitting on me.
Right.
I love to see my parents, obviously, or the angels, right?
Right.
But I don't want to see every client of mine's dead person. It would, because they come early to me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see, like 100 dead people, like, sitting in
you
my
just
house.
feel them and they're there, right?
I know they're there, but I don't want to see them. I don't want to be like looking around every corner, like,
Sheri.
I would be scared. I mean, it'd be like living in a haunted house. Like,
well, this was different. I think this was a blessing.
Corner,
I think
so.
This was a blessing.
Yeah. So I see them in my third eye. So I choose to see them in my third eye, and I'll get the pictures in my third eye. I did see. I was doing healing at the very beginning of my journey. On my husband actually, and I didn't know what I was doing then. I was brand new at this or whatever, and I did it, and then all of a sudden, when I knew I was done, and I looked up and I saw the spirit. I mean, I don't know, it had to be about 4 feet long.
Oh my
and it
God.
was at my ceiling, and it like flew out my door, and I'm like, oh my God. The first time you see it, you're like, but I don't know why it didn't go out my walls. I'm like, why are you going out the door? Can't you go out the brick wall?
That's so funny.
But yeah,
Well,
it's amazing how.
I'm glad that you have that you work with people who with their children, because yeah, you were talking about Joe, and it helps, and it helps even when your parents pass or anybody passes, because sometimes people, they want to believe, but it's hard. It's hard to have faith. Faith is having believing in something that you can't see, and that takes a long time for people. When did you, get your faith, I guess?
You know, like I said, I was born Catholic, but I didn't like going to church. And my mom usually went on Christmas, but she made me go to like CCD, a Catholic school class.
Okay.
And I remember one day when I was like 12, I got in a fight with my mom. And
Okay.
she's like, you have to go. And I'm like, I don't have to go to church. I don't have to go there. And I really, at the time, just thought I was being a brat, right?
Yeah.
But looking back at it, I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I was onto something. Because I said, God is everywhere. Why do I need to go to a building made of brick?
Right.
So I do remember seeing that. But then again, I had kids, da, 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 da. So I'd really say that my faith came in more when my gifts started opening.
When your gifts started opening.
Right now, they've shown me what God is. I've been brought up there in the universe, and people, it's real. And, until you have an experience, you're not going to believe us, right?
Right.
But if anyone's listening here, trust that your, dead people are with you, and there is a God, and it's here. You know what I mean? It's with us. It's not, it's not unreachable. It's there for everybody.
How do you, no, I'm with you. How do you feel about the ascension? Because I feel like, and I just want to ask your opinion on this. I feel like it's a time where, yes, we're going through this COVID thing, and we talked about people staying still in that, but I also feel like it's the beginning of our change of consciousness, to change how we think, to be more kind, to be more compassionate. I want to know your feelings on that, because I feel like it's the beginning of this.
I do agree. I think that, like, as I said, a lot of people that have spiritual awakenings do hit a rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
You hear people in jail, then they find God, or they get depressed, or they get divorced, or they lost their child. Right. And the spiritual awakenings usually are preceded by chaos, right? So I do think that what they're telling me right now to say is that this is a time of reflection.
Right.
And so, like I said, right now they're chiming in. They want their message out.
Good.
And they're saying this is a time for change, and that they're saying everything is going to come. And okay. And they just said, be prepared for the big shift. I don't feel that, the majority of people are going to understand this, but it will be a process, and we are all going to come together. Obviously, some people want to fight politically and do all that, but I think even that's going to get restructured. So I do think there's going to be a global mass spiritual awakening. And what I've noticed, even like with my journey, is we don't understand things when we're in it. Okay. But once we're through it, we can look back and then put those puzzle pieces together, right? And we're going to be like, oh, that's why that happened, or that's why that happened. Right. And they're just saying, for us both right now, stay the course. Right. We need to bring, love, light, peace, humor, whatever. Right. To, the mass people, and thank you. This is why you're doing this. Because more and more people, I think, especially people that have lost people during COVID, are going to be seeking and looking for answers. It's going to make people question their life, their purpose, right? The global life. So I just think all any aspect you can look at this, it's a time for growth.
I agree. I got chills. I don't know why, but I got chills on that one.
Well, somebody was like, that's why I was kind of hesitating, like, because somebody is like popping these things. These weren't the normal words I would say. So.
Well, that's why I'm doing the show, and that's why you're here today. And I'm glad, because people need help. And, I'm a real estate broker, actually, and I've done that for years. But over the last 15 years, I've done all my spiritual work, and that's what's in my heart. Because the things and the money and the material items are not what's important. We're here to learn, and we're here to, grow. And that's really what's important. And that's why I'm doing the show. And that's why I'm so happy you're here today, because people need to hear it from other people besides me. You know what I mean?
Well, and I like it because, like, are you finding too, like, more, even the mediums that are more public, right? It seems like God or the universe, souls, angels, whatever word you want to give it or believe in, are picking more authentic people now that are public speakers. Have you noticed that?
Well,
Like
yeah,
20
because
years
I
ago,
can
it
see
was
through it.
now it's like these rebels are coming in like, let's go. Have you noticed a change? I mean,
Well, it's nice that you say that. Yeah, because, well, authenticity. I had a girl who, there's a girl who does a show, Mari Mitchell, and she does a show called Authenticity. And I love her because she's authentic. She's real. Like her website's real. It's not all done up. And yeah, you're
right.
exactly right. And I had a lady on, and she did her little talk. I can't remember who it was, on her video or her website. And she's real. And so you're exactly right, Sheri. Because people want real. People are tired of fake. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, if I,
Yeah.
do I have a deep faith? 100%. But you know
Yes.
what? I smoke, I drink, I swear. I'm on stage, and guys, I'm going to say shit.
Right.
I mean, because I think, but then what people after, like my audiences come up to me after, they're like, what we like about you, it is so authentic and real, and
Right.
not talking above people.
Right.
I want
Right.
to meet people where they're at, and I'm really a down to earth person. So
Right.
I just think there's like a new breed coming out of spiritual teachers and, leaders in it.
That aren't all about themselves. What I've learned, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it, because that's who I am. Since I've been doing this work over the last 15, 20 years, probably, I have seen a lot of these people. I can remember when I first started doing this work, and people would, and New Mexico is a real spiritual place. And people would say, well, I'm at a higher level, or I'm a little more enlightened than you are. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Are you kidding me right now? And so I did experience a lot of that where, there was a lot of arrogance in this work, whereas maybe there's not so much arrogance. That's what I think it is, Sheri, more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah. There's, we're all in a perfect place for where we are. Anyone that in my opinion, it's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone that tells you they know everything, I'm like, you know what? Until we're dead, we don't know anything,
right.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that my journey was really like truly magical. Like there's so many stories. I'm writing a book now about it.
Awesome.
I've had so many supernatural experiences, like from angels and divine Jesus, whatever. You can't make this shit up,
No.
and that's why we're here. I guess we're crazy enough, right? I think to dead people. But I mean, I think that the more we can share our stories. And
tell us another story, Sheri. Tell me one of your favorite stories. We got about 3 minutes to break.
I'll just give you a short one then. Okay. So so when the angel hugged me, that was in my bedroom. Right. So about the week before, after that, I was real close to that time. I heard a man's voice in my ear, and I was naked. I don't know why they always do that to me. And this man's voice says in my ear, go to church. And I'm like, and I'm like, what? And he goes, go to church now. God's waiting. You know what? My butt got in the shower, and I went to the church. Did anything happen at the church? No. But I think that was them teaching me to listen. Would I listen? Right? Would I trust? It was teaching me communication. So that's kind of how I learned my gifts. So it can be a magic carpet ride. I mean, it can be pretty wild. And I always just look up the sky and say, thank you. Right. I mean.
Now, if you're in the grocery store or if you're at a restaurant, because this has happened to me, but I want to know what you do. Have you picked something up and told somebody? Because I do that.
I don't make a habit of it. And I know that's like the big thing everyone picks up.
Right.
About that. Have I done it? Yes. Is it normal for me to do? No.
Right.
Well, like one time again, I was in Walgreens and Spirit's like, go to the pharmacy. I'm like, I don't need to go to the pharmacy. So I'm sitting in line at the pharmacy. This lady turns to me and just goes, hi. I'm like, hi. And I'm like, and it just came out. And like, she's crying in Walgreens. So do I make a practice of no, but we are here to serve. So when Spirit does make us do it, it happens, right?
Well, no, that's what I agree with you. And that's just recently, a couple months ago, I did that in a restaurant, but it was only because I picked it up and she needed it. And yeah, it was. I mean,
what, and if you like, I know that people say don't do that, but what if that message right there, let's say if it was a dead kid,
right?
What if that message just saved that person's life?
Right. That's what I think.
Gave them the hope they needed. Because what if they were to go home and commit suicide?
Yeah.
Because they were not.
Yeah. Well, and it was weird because it was this girl and I said, I just want you to know you're going to meet somebody. And she goes, thank you. Because my husband just passed, recently. And I said, I just want you to know that you're going to be okay and that you're going to meet somebody. And I don't do that very often. You're exactly right. But every once in a while, you know, you
It
get
comes
that.
on strong. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get that feeling. Hey, you guys, this is Nancy Year Out. I'm here today with Sheri Jewel. We're having a fantastic conversation. She's a medium. You can find her website at Sheri, and that's SHERI, themedium.com. This is Nancy Year Out, and I'll be right back. Hi, it's Nancy Year Out, and this is High Road to Humanity. Sheri, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, let's see what they want to talk about, right?
Yeah, see what they want to tell us. I want messages. We have our last segment. Any messages, please bring them on in because we can use some joy and some.
The one thing that's popping in, in my head right now, which is obviously common sense, is help each other and, be kind to your neighbors and the people that you cross. I mean, just smiling at somebody might make their whole day. Or we were just saying about doing spirit messages in the store. We may have just saved someone's life. And I really think it's funny. I had an experience last night, and that's what's popping in my head now. Whether you're a psychic and medium, or just, I believe we all are. Okay, and I all believe we have, mother's intuition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I have allergies. So last night I was out talking to my neighbors in the yard, and my little dog was in the backyard. Now, when I'm not working, I'm not being psychic. I'm just Sherri, right? We're just like normal people.
Right.
And somebody was doing fireworks, and my dog's terrified of fireworks.
Oh.
All of a sudden, I had this urgency, and I had just met one of these ladies, and I kind of was rude. I mean, I'm like, guys, I got to go. I'm worried about my dog because of the fireworks, and she was outside in the backyard. And as I was like kind of running towards my house, like I had this urgency, like I had to do it. I screamed back, if she runs out your way, you guys grab her.
Okay.
So I get in my backyard, can't find my dog. Within 30 seconds, I hear my neighbor out front screaming, I got her.
Oh my gosh.
So I was definitely, this is again showing that we're not alone, or is it our own soul doing it? Whatever. I mean, I lose my dog. My dogs are like my babies. Okay. It's like very important to me.
No, I'm with you.
If I didn't listen, this is what I think people need to know. When you get that gut instinct, like if you feel like you should turn left and not right, do it. Because you might have just avoided an accident or something.
Well, that's your divine guidance right there in your gut.
Yeah. And if I didn't listen, I'd be like calling you crying. I can't do this interview because my dog's gone.
Right.
And what made me scream back to that lady, hey, if she comes out this way, grab her. I mean, it was weird, Yeah. So you really do have to trust, or like, how I think a lot of parents have had this, a lot of moms, they're worried they're going to get a phone call from their kid, like something's wrong with them when they're teenagers out, right? So I think a big thing that, especially now, because I think that our souls are going to start, or our divine within us is going to be guiding us all more. Trust when you get that impulse or that gut feeling. Or one time I was driving a car and my mom and dad had died, so I'm doing their estates.
Oh, wow.
So I was going to this one bank. I had to go to two banks. So I was going to the one bank first, and next thing you know, I turned left when I was supposed to go right. And that's why I said that earlier. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I go, okay, well, I guess I'm going to the other bank first.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and the manager there never greets clients. Okay. She greeted me, said hi, and then her dead brother was coming through, and it was her birthday.
Oh, no. Okay.
So it's interesting how spirit finds the medium to get you to go.
Right.
So, but this can happen to regular people, not just us,
Right.
And I think that regular, people that have not opened up yet need to start paying attention, or, look for the signs, right? Ask for the signs, have the awareness, because spirit's always trying to interact with us.
Now, do you meditate? Because I always tell people they need to meditate. And so do you do it, Sheri, or what?
Yes, I used to meditate all the time.
Okay.
I have slacked off. I should be meditating more. Let's be honest. I
should be too.
I do meditate occasionally, but I was definitely in the practice. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's funny too. When I meditate, I'm shown things, and I'm shown like clairvoyant pictures and stuff. And that's how they actually told me, like, wash my hands. I told you wear the hat and all that. That was in meditation.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you want to connect to spirit, I think also when you meditate, like, let's say you had lost a child, set the intention and think of the spirit you want to connect with before you go into the meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you'll see something clairvoyant, or, I get messages too in the meditation.
Right. I always got, it happened, oh gosh, probably 2 years ago, I guess now, that I would get people in the shower. That's how it happened for me first. I got,
They always get us naked.
well, yeah, I get people in the shower. Maybe it's because I'm most relaxed. I don't know. But that's where people started to come to me, and then I would send them on their way to the light. But it's
Wow.
always been in the shower. Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, I channeled one time. I came out of the shower and channeled a book on angels. It just started coming in but they say water is an energy, right? So it can be
Yeah.
like an amplifier.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the exact reason all the time, but they do get you in the shower. Or maybe it is because we're relaxed and not thinking about
Right.
our
Now,
day.
where's your book on angels, Sheri? What is it called?
Well, that's the other problem. I haven't done it yet. I wrote it, but I've been sitting waiting to find the right illustrator.
Get it out there. Get it.
I've been trying. I just can't find. I really need a divine spiritual artist that's guided to do it.
Okay.
The colors have got to be right. And it is on angels, but it also is on, I would say it's probably more of an activation book. I can't say too much.
Okay.
Because if I said the words, you would know what I mean.
Okay.
So it'll affect the parent and the child.
Oh, nice. Okay. I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
But I'm waiting. I keep thinking, like, I live in synchronicity. I don't go looking for anything.
You wait.
So I just I've tried to find an artist a few times, and they have beautiful work. And then I see what they do for me, and I'm like, no, not right.
That's not.
So I'm just hoping.
Okay.
The artist is going to have to pop in sometimes,
Yeah. No,
better.
That's cool. Hey, now as far as clearing and stuff, do you tell people the same thing I do? Probably take sea salt baths and clean your chakras and all that stuff. Do you get messages from the angels that tell you to clear your chakras, or do you think what do you think?
Okay, now you might not agree with me. I definitely Epsom salt baths for clearing 100% because I'm really strong on that.
Yeah.
Do I do that often enough? No, I don't do that often enough either. But yeah,
but it's good. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely feel that clears your energy field and all that stuff. Yes, and good for your body. I am not a chakra person. I've never done one thing with my chakras.
Okay.
Do I believe in them? Sure, people have chakras. Yeah. But for myself, some people are really into them. For me, no. I'm a true believer in. I believe you have to feel to heal.
Right.
And I think that, and I did that a lot. So. To me, I think naturally you can get your chakras in balance.
Okay.
Like to me, okay, I could go and a practitioner is like spinning my chakras and opening them. Well, if I go home to another messed up situation or they're going to get out of work again.
Yeah.
So I
don't know. I always do a visualization and clear them, but that's just me. Everybody's different.
Yeah, but no, a lot of people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody do whatever resonates with you, and just for me, I just never been drawn to it.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, tell us another one of your stories. I love your stories, Sheri. What else do you got to tell us? What other message do you have for us today?
Well, I did receive messages like right before waking up. So I think also listeners could ask to get messages in their sleep, right?
Okay. Yes.
And I would start getting messages right before I woke up. That would be like, be benevolent, be merciful. You can tell I'm a very casual person. So here's me when I wake up Googling these words. So I always call them like soul words,
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm channeling there, Sheri, that's not you. That's not your word. I'm like, right? And I'm like,
what is that? I love it.
Yeah. So I started, actually, what a good story is Teresa Caputo. That was a good one.
Okay.
So I fell asleep watching Long Island Medium. Yes.
I love her, by the way. I think she's awesome.
And she is real, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally real.
Yeah.
So she was in my dream. And when I woke up, I'm like, I'm in Chicago. She's in New York. I'm like, how the heck am I going to meet Teresa Caputo? I'm like, guys, you screwed this up. This one's not happening.
Right.
Well, right before I even got to bed, somebody said, grab your phone and look on Facebook. She was at a bookstore 15 minutes from my house.
Oh my gosh.
And then there was a deal to have to get in and all this. So I'm like, oh geez, I got to buy her book. I got to get the receipt. And it was interesting is there had to be 1,000 or 2,000 people in line. It was a Borders, and there's 2 stories and she was on the bottom floor. The line went out the door, up the stairs, down the stairs, whatever.
Wow.
And she was maybe spending 30 seconds with each person. There's so many people and she just autographs the book. Right. And then you're pushed, forward.
Down the road, yeah.
I still can't even explain what happened to this day. I walked up, she's like this with a pen, signing the book. And all of a sudden she kept her head down and only her eyeballs like looked up at me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay. But she was like frozen. Honest to God, I saw her eyeballs change. Like something took her over. It was wild. I mean, I could actually see the physical change in her eyes.
Weird.
And then all of a sudden I got frozen too. Like it was really like a moment in time that was
stopped.
It was like totally like time stopped.
Yeah.
And she talks a lot, I talk a lot, you can tell. So um, we were both totally frozen. And all of a sudden I felt like an energy ball like this big. It felt like a softball was thrown into my stomach, where I actually went like that. And then I don't know what happened. She stayed frozen. She never moved again. And I came out of it and I giggled and I'm like, thank you. And I giggled and went and talked to Larry, So to this day, I don't know if that was just teaching me energy, because that was at the beginning of my journey, to learn what that energy was
moving. Yeah.
I don't know if it was a download, I'm not really sure.
She didn't say anything at all?
She never came out of it. She stayed totally frozen. I don't know if her own spirit took her over. I don't know what stepped in. I mean, and to see someone's eyeballs change.
That's weird.
I mean, it was wild. And like I said, she didn't even know it was happening.
That's crazy.
And then it was interesting. I ended up doing some events with her mentor, Pat Longo.
Okay. So
there ended up being a connection. And I'm making a lot of friends with other mediums in New York. So I don't know if it's a New York thing. I don't know. To this day, sometimes stuff happens to us. We don't know why.
Right. Exactly. Hey, Sherri, we're like almost to the end of the show here. We got about a minute left.
Yeah.
I know. Isn't that great? I'm going to have to have you come back when you write your book. See, I'm going to make you write your book so you come back on my show. No.
Yeah, they gave me that. They gave me the title like 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it's a spiritual journey. And it's going to have all these wild stories, but a lot of wisdom too.
Okay.
And I'm finally doing it.
Awesome.
My friend's like, if you don't do it during COVID, that's another thing good about COVID.
It's time to do it.
Yeah, my friend says to me really bluntly, he's like, Sherri, if you don't do this book during COVID, you're never going to do it.
Really? Exactly. Well,
okay, but people can, during the COVID, God bless everybody, and just stay safe and start seeking, look within, start a new hobby. I believe that life is about joy, and sometimes with depression and everything, we just need to change our perspective. I think that's a good message for people.
Yes.
Start looking at things differently and change your perspective, and you change your world.
I agree with that. All right. Hey, you guys, this is Nancy Yearout. We'll see you next week. And I'm here today with Sheri Jewel. If you want to get in touch with her, check out her website. It's www.sherrythemedium.com. Sherri, thank you. You guys, we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
Thank you for having me. God bless everybody.
You're welcome, Sherri. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.